Hey everybody, Mark W. Flockhart. Today I'm going to show you a calculator that I just got finished creating, and I want your feedback on whether you guys like this. This is for marketing that's going to help you guys understand the cost if you're going to purchase leads or if you're going to convert any type of business where you're paying for that service. So in this case, I'm going to show my screen here in just a moment and show you exactly what I created and get your feedback on if this can be useful. I'll also put a link to it in the description below. It's completely free as long as we don't go over 500 users per month or visitors per month, so you don't have to log in or anything. But once it goes over 500 visitors per month, then I have to pay for some sort of service, which honestly I'm going to ask you to donate because I don't make any money on this. Sponsors? No, none. Okay. Let's dive into the screen here. So basically, this is essentially a lead calculator. And the number one piece that you have to look at is your numbers. So you got to factor in what's my average per policy. Right? So we're going to calculate the per sale and per policy amount based on what I'm converting. What that means is if you sell home, auto, umbrella, and a motorcycle, that's 4 policies. So based on that, what's my average premium per policy I sell? You might sell $2,200 on the auto for a year, but only $500 for renters in the year. Right? So now you're $2,800. That means you're averaging $1,400 per policy. That's just cutting it in half. If you don't know how to calculate that, just leave a default anywhere from 1,000 to 1,300. Some places are more, but in Michigan, ours is 1,300. That's close to what we actually write. We as our agency are writing about 1.8 policies per household. So when, like I just said, per policies per sale, you can be 1.5, 2.5. You might be better than us in selling all higher level clients and just getting those sales done. But that's essentially, you can pick that. So if you think you're 1.5 sales per policy per household, then put that in. This is the average life of a customer. So that's the one thing a lot of people don't calculate, especially if you're purchasing leads. This is a little bit lead focused, but like I said, it works with everything else. And you could say that maybe my average life expectancy of a client is 3 years. I'm just going to leave it as 4 for now, just so we can calculate this. This is your commission split. So if you're direct to a carrier, then you get all the commission, right? But what percentage of the commission do you get? So if you sell $50,000 worth of premium with that one carrier, what is your average commission that you'll make on that $50,000? If you're part of a network, you've got to figure that part in where they take their cut and then you make your commission. This will just basically go down if that's the case. So you might be 13% versus 15. It averages right around 10 to, actually it can go up to 20 depending on what you're writing. So I'll just leave it at 13 right now. If you go down here, I made 2 different versions of this. So you've got your pre-made scenario and you've got your custom calculations. The pre-made scenario is the easiest for someone that just is overwhelmed by what leads are, what they cost, how do I factor in my conversion rate, how do I do all this? I'm just starting off. Mark, give me some advice. So this is a cheat for you to just quickly see if I buy 200 of these $5 leads, I should get about $268 of revenue coming back in the door. And that's actual return on investment. That includes subtracting the cost that you paid for the lead. So over the course of a year, I should make about $3,200. If you ever want to know what I use to calculate that, just hover over the little I there, and it'll show you 25% lead to quote, and then 10% quote to sale. And then that counts at the 1.5 per sale. I sell 1.5 policies. And then it doesn't calculate the life of the person yet. I do that in the custom one. I may work that one into this one because it does actually show you some better numbers. And that's based off a 13% conversion. So if I did what we're doing in 1.8 policies per household, you'll notice that we're making quite a bit more every time we sell a policy. If you're going to do 500 leads, whatever the case is, you're going to have that cost. There you go. It's $1,300 return on investment. And then you're going to average about $15,000 in return coming in. Okay. Now it gets a little bit more detailed when we go into the custom. And let me know if you want me to make this pre-made ones a little bit bigger as far as like the details. You'll see here in the custom one in a second. But I did 4 different types. So typical cheaper lead is $4 to $5. 8's a common scenario where people will get leads for $8. That's your return. $16 is not as big of a jump. People think it is, but it's not as big of a value. And then 50 is the biggest one. It's saving time. You're getting the quality leads, but you're spending a lot of money. You're taking less time on them, but you're making more return on average, right? On those ones, you should be at least a 60% lead to quote, if not 100%, because most of these you can even buy live transfers. They come right to your phone and you're quoting every one of them, right? And then your 35% conversion, that's assuming that you're competitive, you're good at talking on the phone, all of that type of stuff is happening. You're going to make this about a month, and then you're going to have that return on investment. Now keep in mind, which I actually may add into here as well, if you do the math, if you're doing, let's see, $50 per lead, and you're doing 500 of them, that means you're spending $25,000 just to get the lead. Okay, so that's $25,000 a month to return 7. It's still a good deal, but you got to calculate the fact that you are spending a lot. Okay, so I get into details on the custom one where we talk about how much you're actually spending, and I just updated this to be more accurate. So we've got, let's just say we're buying 220 leads a month, that's 10 a day, and we're buying them for $6.50. 50 cents, there we go. So my initial monthly investment is going to be $1,430 invested. Okay, if I convert at, let's just say I get a 30% quote rate. So if I get a lead in, 30% of them say no, 30% of them say yes, I'll let you quote me, and 30% I never get a hold of. We've got a little extra padding because it's 33%. And then I convert them. Let's just say I'm converting at a 15% conversion. So this is my quote to sale rate. Every time I get 220 leads, I quote 30% of them. Every time I quote 30% of them, I'm quoting 66 people. And every time I quote 66 people, if I convert at 15%, I'm going to make 10 sales. Now, if my average sale rate is $1,300 and I average 1.8 policies per household, I'm going to roughly sell about $23,166 worth of premium. If that's the case, then I will get a 13% commission, and I can expect my ROI to be $1,582. The next step, I just times it by 12. So if I just kept doing that every day, 10 leads a day for an entire year, I should expect to return about $19,000. Now, if I keep the customer for 4 years or more, then I'm going to return about $127,396 will be the lifetime value of me buying 10 leads a day, converting them at 30% quote, 15% conversion, and so on and so forth. You get it. So feel free, you can play with this. You can plug in $8.75, and we can see what that is. I did put in here, up here, when you read the description, some of the most valuable pieces. The conversion rate to sale is the most important. So if I sold at 30%, you notice how I'm 23,000 here, it almost doubles. Okay, just by having that. Well, I doubled my conversion. Mark, I know you guys aren't dumb, but it's what it is. The highest the conversion rate you can get them at a 60% quote. I've actually got some leads that I think leads are roughly about a 50% contact rate, sometimes even higher. I'm actually working with a person to increase those. And then we're closing them based on what your skill level is. But even if your skill level is only 25%, and let's just say you're buying them at, I don't know, $60, let's say we're going crazy with it. So I'm going to lose, this is what people don't see. I might lose $58,000 that first year and $4,000 a month, but my net return, because I don't buy that lead over and over, I've kept that lead for 4 years here. So now I'm actually going to gain $243,000. That's where that investment kicks in, and that doesn't include referrals and all of that follow-up and adding business on later. That's just the average of what you can expect. So let's say we got these leads down to $35. These are just other leads. Yes, now I'm making profit right away, and I don't have to invest into it, and now I return to $309,000. But let's say the conversion rate was a little bit lower. Let's say it's 20% conversion rate. Okay, so I'm now losing about $12,000 a year. I'm actually comfortable with that, but I'm gaining about $228,000 in return money over the next 4 years. So feel free to play with that. Put your numbers in, see what you like. If you want to get a copy of it, it'll give you the answers right there. It's completely free. If you want a copy of it, just plug your email in. It can send you a copy of it, and then that way you can print it off, have a copy of it for you. Let me know what your questions are. If you see any numbers off, I'm 95% sure the beta is essentially ready to go, and it should be accurate. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, if this is a helpful tool or if I should have not spent the last 3 days working on this. If it's something that helps you, leave me a comment below. If you want to see something added to it, feel free to let me know. Like I said, if it gets over 500 views or uses, then I have to figure out some way to pay for it, because I honestly don't want to outpocket it. Don't want to sound mean, but this is all free for you guys. So give me a thumbs up. That'll probably help. I'm Mark W. Flockhart. I'll see you soon.